Hey everybody, this is my presentation for this week's assignment in a class that I'm in. It's called CSC-235 Python 1. My professor is Professor Hinton, and the school I go to is the University of Advancing Technology. So in this in this in this exercise, in this homework assignment, I had to make a oops, I had to make a file. I had to make some files and stuff like that. So let me fix this really fast here. So what I had to do is demonstrate files, input, output, all of that good stuff. And I was supposed to do it with my last assignment, but my last assignment was a video game, and it was quite lengthy. And when you see it, you'll understand why I did this. So I had previously written a program that uses lists to store variables. So I made basically a virtual grocery list and a virtual to-do list. Well, I decided to take that further and actually write those to files instead of using lists or dictionaries. So without further ado, I will show you how I did it. So basically what I did is I made two variables, a to-do list and a grocery list, and then I assigned them to files, text files. Actually, I had a problem with this at first because I forgot to put them in the quotes, and it was producing an error. So it's important that you do that, otherwise it's not going to register it. Then I made a program loop and gave it a state of false, so that as long as it registers false, this program is going to run. What's unique about this program is I made two different lists that do basically two different things. The first list is a to-do list. So in other words, it's kind of like a list of chores. So, you put down car, and then what do you want to do with your car? Wash it. Or bike, what are you going to do? Ride it. Grass, cut it. Stuff like that. The second one is just basically a list, like a grocery list, and it writes it out to a text file. Now, each of them writes to a text file, but they do it a little differently. So let me show you how it works here. So it starts off, we have a menu here, and it's in a loop. You can either do your to-do list, your grocery list, or quit the program. Input a choice, and debating on what your choice is going to jump to part of that program using if statements. Now, here's the one problem I have with this program is it keeps going back. So if I want to go to a certain list, like the to-do list, I got to hit the to-do list, and it brings up another menu. Then I choose from that. Once it's done, it goes back to the main menu. So it gets a little repetitive. But for now and for this class and where I'm at, I think it's pretty good. Okay, so anyway, here we go. So for the first one, we do a to-do list, and this is replacing a dictionary. So how we do this is we open the to-do list, and we open my list, I'm sorry, as a read file, and we give it the variable to-do list. Then we have another variable, and we attach it to the to-do list variable, but we tell the to-do list to read what's inside of this text file. Then we print the read list. This is the variable that's attached to this. So basically, what's kind of happening here is this read list is a variable that points to the to-do list. It's kind of like a pointer, but not really, because, well, you didn't really assign it as a pointer, as in like a C++ program. So it's a little different, but it works pretty much the same. So we read the list and then we close it. And then here, if we want to add something to the list, I have two inputs. One is going to be the item that you're going to put into the list, and the other one is going to be a description. And then it writes both of those to a file, and then it also adds a null line. So basically, it has room to write to another part of this text. So it just keeps adding to it. Otherwise, if we didn't put this little next line feature in here, it would overwrite what we were doing here. Um, so how it works is this: you write, and then you put a colon, and then you kind of write the description. You have to remember to do that, otherwise it might get jumbly. But for now, that's what I came up with. Now the second one is a simple list. Oh wait, but before that, I want to show you that yeah, we can truncate the list, so we can clear the list too, and then we can end the program. And the grocery list does the same thing, except it only takes one input, and it just basically adds to it and then reads it. Very simple, very simple actually. Um, but it was mind-boggling to get it working, to be honest with you. And what was the problem was is like I said, I wasn't treating these texts as strings basically, and that was tripping me up. So without any further ado, let me show you how this program runs. I've got one sitting right here, so we're going to type in Python main.py, and here it is. So I call this the list app 2.0 because it's basically an addition to the first one. So we'll go to the to-do list. What do you want to do with it? You can do one of four things. Well, let's view it just to see if there's anything in it. There's nothing in it. Let's go back to that list. Let's add an item. Let's say bike. Now this is important. Put the colon after and a space. Then add a brief description. We're going to say ride it. Okay, so it acknowledges, it says I have added bike, write it to the list. Okay, so let's go back to the to-do list and let's view it. Now look how it looks. See bike, colon, and then write it. So it kind of gives this some kind of structure. Otherwise, you might not know exactly what you're supposed to be reading here. So it's important to do that. So let's go back to the to-do list. Let's add something else. Let's add car. Okay, so notice I didn't put the colons in. So watch what happens now. So we're going to say wash it. Okay, so it added it, no problem, but when you go to look at your to-do list, you see the difference here. It's all car wash is one word, so basically, are you going to wash a car, or are you going to a car wash called it? So there are a couple of caveats to this, but as long as you follow the proper protocol, which would be in the directions, it should work. You know, and this is a basic program. All right, so obviously, you know, the user made a mistake here. So let's go back here and let's clear the list. Go back and look at it, and there's nothing in there now. So now you can write it. You can write it right. If that's not a tongue twister. Okay, let's go to the second one. Oops. And that is view the to-do list. Okay, so now we want to go to our grocery list, view our grocery list. There's nothing in it. Go back to our grocery list, add an item. Let's add salt to the list. Go to our grocery list, view the grocery list. Now we have salt. So now this is important too. I'm going to show you this. Now, because I had added that next line to it, I'm able to do this. If I didn't add that next line, instead of adding to the list, it would just replace what was in there with a different word. So we're going to add another item, and we're going to say pepper. Okay, so pepper was added to the grocery list. Now let's go back to the grocery list and view it. Now you see how it's kind of populating a list here. I just thought it was kind of neat how I did it that way, because at first I was stumped. I was like, why am I getting a replacement for this? And I was like, oh, I'm not telling you to add another line. Computer programming, remember folks that computers are inherently stupid. You have to tell them exactly what you want all the time, or you're not going to get the results that you want. Okay, so that is the end of my presentation. I think I did a good job with it. It works. You know, I mean, hey, you know, lists, I'm sorry, but files can be kind of tricky sometimes, but I got through it. So if you like this, give me an A. I'm a 4.0 student. I want to keep it that way. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. Let's quit this program, and goodbye.